Hello and welcome. All change on the LEGO website. There's some new sets added for January of 2026, and you can see that they have updated all the bits and pieces for the LEGO Insiders weekend on the homepage. So we will double check to make sure we didn't miss anything in yesterday's live stream once we've checked the new LEGO sets out. So if you are a fan of artwork, I do believe this is all for you. As we scroll down, obviously everything else that we're missing that's coming soon, we've already checked in separate videos. Where are you? Where are you? Ah, there's a new 4GT as well. We'll click on that first. So 1966 4GT, or GT40, shall I say, the Mark II. This is the Le Mans winner. This is the one that went up against Ferrari. So if you have seen Ford versus Ferrari, this will be the one, I do believe, that the main driver, Ken, was test driving. And it's the one that actually killed him before they got the Mark II up and running, I do believe. So if you've seen Ford versus Ferrari, you know what that's all about. Sure, this is based on Le Mans 24. Probably didn't even say it in there, does it? No. Anyway, this is what this looks like. They've got it in nice jet black, which makes a bit of a change. And you can see it's got the number 2 and everything on there. Because I'm sure Mark 1 was the car that he was driving around in the actual film. And obviously all the bits and pieces that went up against Ferrari. And then they did the Mark 2 a little bit later on with a bigger engine engine placement. So yeah, just let us know if I'm wrong on that. But it does look like quite a nice scale, that one. So that is yours. I've got completely didn't even look at the price. It's yours for £64.99 and it's 793 pieces. Right, artwork. Okay, we've got Autumn Cottage Garden, Japanese Cherry Blossom Landscape, which is the same 3D image as what they've been using for the Batman artwork, and I can vouch for that artwork. The Batman stuff is incredible. And it looks like they did another one for Paris. And the Paris is available for pre-order, and the others are just coming soon. So let's take a quick look at the Japanese Cherry Blossom Landscape. This will sell very, very well, obviously, in certain parts of the world. And of course, if you just want a nice picture up on the wall and a building experience, I think this will be really nice, because you've got all these little bits and pieces up at the top. It's like triple skinned. Well, actually, probably more than that, but you can see it on the back. So you've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers of thickness. Would imagine you'd be able to hang it on the wall potentially, like you can do with the Batman artwork. And then again, you've got that'll be tiles, and then you've got the pin, and then it's another piece and another piece. That's 3 thick. That'll be 1, 2, 3, 4 thick sticking out from the wall. So you can see how it's all layered and it's got the levels on. So if you are umming and ahhing about the Batman artwork, you have potentially got last chance to get it this weekend coming, because I would imagine that is going to be a very, very popular thing with a rather large discount. We have got all the beautiful water that's coming off at the bottom. Yeah, I know it's not something I would want, but I can appreciate how good this will actually look once it's built, because I have got the Gotham skyline, and I was amazed by just how nice that looked. The only thing is that this frame is a lot chunkier than the Gotham skyline. My Gotham skyline is literally probably two studs out with the thin frame all the way around, whereas this looks like it's in a real thick frame. You can see there's a Technic piece on the back as well, so I wonder what that's got to do with. So whereas the Batman, it's literally all displaying a tiny bit of frame. I'm assuming that the frame has a lot to do with this build as well. But you can see when it's on it's going to have to be hung. It has to be hung because the waterfall is obviously lower by this angle than it is at the bottom of the picture frame. So you're not going to be able to just rest it on the side unless it's got a thing that tips out at the back like an actual picture frame and it gets the water off from the top. So again, you're a fan, and you just be careful because you can see, yeah, it's well over the bottom of that frame, isn't it? So, yeah, it is a chunky looking frame, and obviously the picture sits in there nicely. You can see what it looks like in hand as well. So obviously the frame's part of the actual artwork, I guess. You couldn't really put a thin surround on this one. Do you like the beautiful cherry blossom in the bottom left-hand corner? Of course, you've got the really nice. Is that Mount Fuji? Is that what that one's supposed to be? Or is that just a completely different volcano? I'm just making things up as we go. So, yeah, so it does obviously hang because clearly it's been hung and it is hung on the wall. So, how you hang it, if we're going to get a look at the back, nice detail on there. They look very, very pretty. You've got little closed elements on there. That's a very, very pretty looking thing. They look nice. That looks nice. That looks nice. Show me the back. That looks. Does that tip back or does it actually stand up? Yeah, maybe it's in line. Maybe it kicks off and it's level. Quite clearly, by that, it's obviously stood. But the other photo, it looked like the water was, what, two, 3 bits off? There we go. That's the back. So they've left it open on this one, which is probably a little bit easier than just having it as a closed bit, and then you've got to try and then like slam it down. Where at least with this, you can get your screw into the bit and then just down it goes. So as long as you are good with getting screws level and you can figure out how to measure all of that and get it all in where you need to go, my Batman artwork hasn't moved a smidge. I got it day one, it went straight up, and it's just been absolutely fine ever since. So there's no questions asked that these will look great on display. But like I said, it's not really a thing for me. But it is quite nice that they are doing more of the art stuff in this sort of layered texture. And obviously it is underneath the art banner. So yeah, congratulations to the designer on that one. I'm sure that will sell well, but it is yours for £99.99 for 1,892 pieces. So good brick count, good piece count for the price. Obviously, you're going to be using a lot of those on the frame, but that looks to me like it's a full mix and match of layers of plate, which is what got to be. What's that? That's 3 stud. That looks like it's 6 or 8 studs. So they're all different. So you can see just how that's going to go together. And again, for parts usage, if you were to take this apart and do something else with it, you can't really go wrong for nearly 1,900 pieces. So if you want to work the maths out on that, please feel free. That is does seem to be January is going to be the sets where it seems to be different price range for different things. Happy with all the Marvel stuff that we've seen so far. Again with this one, again you can see 99. 1,102, 99, 1,892. So you obviously bigger pieces, smaller pieces doesn't affect the pricing now as such. So again, that's quite a positive thing. So obviously all of these, look at those. Really nice elements on these. I have not seen them being used before. I don't know if I've seen them in orange either. But you've got the little garden gnome, which looks great. You've got the little frog on the lily pad. You've got the water. You've got the squirrel. So we've seen this tree, a couple of variations of that in different sets. I do like the little cart. Even the snail looks cute as well. So a real nice sort of autumny turn of those. That looks great. Again, I would like just to steal the tree and then do it in my own display. I wouldn't need it, but it is an autumn cottage garden. So yeah, that is basically what it looked like around this way about a week or so ago before it started to get really heavy with rain. So yeah, that looks very good. It does look like, hang on, looks like you've got a fair bit going on with this. So you have got a nice bit of box artwork. It's on its own little obviously it's on its own little legs as it wraps around. You've got a nice little bench there with a light, another little bird up top. Yeah, these are very much now. They seem to be going really heavily into the stuff that we've kind of seen, what I've kind of seen already at the Lego house, and I really appreciate that because they take photos of them well. They're photogenic, that's the word. It does look like what they're trying to show off here. Pick and choose what it is that you want. So you know you're not set in stone with regards to where these 5 things are going to go. So you can move them around anywhere. By the looks of it, you're going to have the space for it. So yeah, that's a real nice. It's a very pretty looking thing. But if you didn't realise, I am just doing a Lego theme park, and I don't really think I can justify that at all. But again, that is yours for £99.99 coming on the 1st of January. And then it looks like there was a one for Paris, if I read that right, which looked like it again. It was similar to the 3D artwork. Didn't want to click that twice, did I? Take two. There we go, down to the newest, swing it down. One underneath, there it is. So this is 958 pieces, 69.99. So it's this is kind of a mix of a slightly bigger postcard that what they've been doing, and the putting it underneath the art because this if it's under the architecture range, this might be their new style of doing it. So they're now not going to do the standalone buildings where they're on the little back base plate and you've got the other bits and pieces. This is a completely different take on a already current theme. I've never known them to do something like this and not change the name of the actual theme. So the fact that the architecture lives is a good thing, because I don't think we had that many architecture sets out in 2025. We had some of the bigger ones, but there was no smaller ones like this. I've got quite a lot of the ones in Dubai, Singapore, Paris, and all that kind of thing, where they're 4 studs by 16 or whatever it is. That is a completely different take. That to me kind of looks a little bit more Miniland-esque that you have at the Legoland parks. So you could create a nice little path going around that, and you can just get the aspect of all of the buildings. That is basically Paris, and you'd have another one and have another one. So I'd be very interested what the next one of those looks like, because there is potential that I could actually make that work in my own theme park display. So that's caught my eye just from a theme park perspective, but that does look very, very smart and clean. They've given it a real nice sort of 3D aspect. I'm assuming they're a new print on those. Nice looking blue as well. Does look like you can potentially put a minifigure up on top. I wonder how actual deep that thing is. To me, a couple of studs deep at the bottom by the looks of it. It's sort of how it steps out. So you've got all it. I mean, obviously, if you're a massive fan of France, you could easily name off all of the other little bits and pieces that are in there. I'm not, and I'm not going to, but there's some more than likely very famous buildings on there. You can potentially see them doing something like this for London. And they'll probably have Big Ben in the middle, or the bridge, or something like that. Again, they could easily do that for Singapore, because every single architecture set, something's tall, and they've just put everything together in this. So it's a base plate wide and just over a base plate tall. So there's going to be a lot of detail on that. It'd be nice to see what that looks like made up. And if it is as just on the wall as well, and it stands, you can see how that would not stand nicely. So I could potentially do something nicely with that in a theme park. If it's not meant for it, then obviously I won't. But that's what it looks like on the wall. I'm assuming it's the same system as what we saw on the other one, and they're not going to show us. But you can see what's going on with that. So potentially that has got the opportunity to kickstart, or say reinvent, shall I say, the architecture line altogether. Because I thought at one point that was done and gone. But yours for £69.99, and again, 1st of January, 958 pieces. Now, just a quick recap of this. In case you didn't realise, it is the LEGO Insiders Weekend this weekend, which we are the 18th today, and this is kicking off on Saturday the 22nd and finishing at the end of the 23rd. So this wasn't available. This bit wasn't available yesterday. Luckily, thanks to Jay's Toy Collection UK, he actually found the page internally, and we were checking out all of the giveaway purchases that are going to be coming. So this is how the times 2 points work. So there's going to be times 2 points, clearly, on a lot of sets. If you've seen the list, you know exactly how excited people are going to be for that. You can also build a wish list. If you build a wish list, you can then win your wish list. And there's lots of other bits and pieces that are going on as well. But these are the 3 giveaways that are running at the moment. If I remember rightly, we have got this is going to be running with the Lego City, I think Lego Friends and Ninjago bits and pieces for you to be able to get this. And of course, you've got Kids Go Free on the back of the packet for Legoland as well. So that's not exactly a bad thing. So if you could get that, and then obviously you then save kid entrance to another, say, £20 or whatever it is, that's not too bad. So you've just got to spend £35 or more on a set. You get a set that's probably £3.99 plus free entry to a Legoland park. This has caught my eye, and I really, really do want this. So this looks great. This will go work perfectly in any one of your Winter Village displays. Love the chairs on the side. I love the chocolate top. I love the tree with the little star. Of course, it's got the 2 really nice minifigures. They have carried on the same theme of the Coco minifigure at the top. Little sticker at the front with the ability to pick what you want from a menu. And you've got all the other little bits and pieces up top there. And of course, you've got the chocolate surround just underneath. So, yeah, I think for 256 pieces, it's a fair enough price point. I think it does look very, very good. It looks probably one of the best Winter Village giveaways they've done in a long time, with regards to it going in within the Winter Village theming that they've got at the moment. And obviously the fact that you get another minifigure in a Christmas jumper, well, that's never a bad thing. And then, if you are looking for something rather large, I don't know, like maybe the Ninjago set or a Lion Knight's Castle, which potentially might have, like, I don't know, is it 30% off? What are the rumours? You will just get given this. So you spend over £225, and then this is yours. And the reason why this is at the higher price point, as you can see, it's 590 pieces. So you can't see how much this thing's actually worth yet. They haven't updated the actual price point on this. They probably will do on the over that weekend. I do believe both of these giveaways are also running on the Black Friday as well. So good luck if you are looking to get anything on the LEGO Insiders weekend. But that is it. That's a quick update from the LEGO website with regards to all the other little bits and pieces. Before, let me just scroll down, because it did have underneath this some more information. Yes, so you've got the Retro Explorer. You can win a signed Star Trek Enterprise. You could be a winner for 1,000,000 points if you want to, which would be nice. And then you can reward yourself this weekend with the sales that are coming, but they're not letting you know what they are. But everybody knows what they are already, which is very, very exciting. If that is 100% true. And then, of course, Black Friday, which is a week Friday, you'll be fighting for this with potentially those giveaways that we've already had a look at, or it might chop and change if they sell out. You never know, do you? But if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But as always, thank you very much for watching. You lot take care, and I'll catch you next one.